Across the world, the media are dominated by powerful players who have direct links or affiliations with political parties. Indonesia's no exception, epitomised by the latest political player to enter its presidential race. Hary Tanoe controls a multi-billion-dollar media empire, including 3 national television networks. And he's just become the running mate to presidential hopeful and retired General Wiranto of the Hanura Party. He spoke with Indonesia correspondent Helen Brown.
Hary Tanoe, thank you very much. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Looking at some of the issues you have raised, corruption, for instance, and law enforcement, what can you do in your business and in your life that sets an example to these people, that shows them you want a change in this country?
Oh, there are many ways. In any resource allocation, do it in a transparent way. In the mining, in the agriculture, in the basically concession of infrastructure project like power plant, toll road. You know, the problem in many cases, this allocation is done in a very discreet, negotiation. So I think we need to solve this. If Indonesia can solve this, and the tax issue, and then law enforcement issue, education issue, and then last but not least is the basically economic policy that can create added value. Added value means that can promote the growth of the economy and also that create jobs. I think Indonesia can become a very, very big country.
These are very big problems though, and they're quite entrenched, which is what concerns those who want change. As someone who's had to deal with them, what needs to be done then to change the attitude of corruption, to change the idea that the law can be brought?
We need a strong government. One is integrity. A leader must have integrity. Integrity is very important because once you are in power, if you don't have integrity, it will be very dangerous. Yeah. So basically, the purpose of having power is to serve the nation. Number one. Number two is competency. Competency is very important. You know, this is not an era like many years back where a leader has to be charismatic. You know, if somebody competent enough and charismatic, that is perfect. But if I have to choose between competency and charismatic, I will choose competency because we need to solve the problem. So integrity, competency, and strong leadership is required to lead Indonesia to change.
And so given your desire to make a change, is that why you decided to put yourself up as a vice presidential hopeful, to be a public figure instead of working behind the scenes?
It's impossible to work behind the scene. You have to be in charge. That's why when Pak Wiranto asked me to basically run with him, I think it's a good match. I have a few reasons why. I've given a deep thought about this. Because my background is in business, economy, that is basically my expertise. And if I look at Pak Wiranto, basically he's not an economist, he's not a business person, but he has served 3 former presidents. So in terms of the knowledge about bureaucracy, he's very knowledgeable. And he's basically a former retired general, 4-star general, and the former of the basically military. And in terms of security, is very knowledgeable.
There are, of course, as you would be aware, some concerns about the party's ties with the Suharto family, the old ruling family of Indonesia. Is there reason for concern?
Pak Wiranto himself, yes, he served basically the former President Suharto, but the party Hanura is nothing to do with the Suharto family. So I think we have to separate this issue. Yeah.
And then looking at the idea of democracy, Indonesia is a democracy in transition, and it's quite an interesting time for the country. The mass media plays an important part in that. In Indonesia, though, the mass media is essentially owned by a group of rich, powerful men, of which you are one, Pak Hary, who have a lot of control and influence. Now, do you think that is a threat at all to democracy in Indonesia?
Well, not really. Actually, democracy is happening, since the beginning until today. We have been trying to really respect democracy. That's very, very important. And our policy in terms of the programming, in terms of the the news like kind of color, we want to promote democracy as well. Like for example, I give equal opportunity to all political party, you know, to be covered in our media.
And yet it's just such an expectation here that anyone with media power uses it to help or to assist a certain political party. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, the perception is like that, but I think we have a law, we have a rule, we have a General Election Commission. If we violate the rule, then they can penalize us. That's very important, and they never penalize us. So that means we follow the rule. Many people here, because of the, you know, they get worried, because I'm basically the only newcomer in Indonesia, coming from the business background, and out of the blue, you know, I'm in a political arena, and because my background is media, they feel worried about my presence, and then they create noise and all this speculation.
Hary Tanoe, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Helen.